Hi, this is Koshal with SecureGuard Consulting, and in this module we're going to talk about web addresses, or what we call links, or really whatever, when you open up a browser window, whatever you're typing in to the above address bar, whether that's Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, or Firefox. What we have up here is a web address, or a link, or a uniform, or URL. And the first part of the address is, if you see, it says HTTPS. Then it has a colon, backslash, then www, then google.com. So these are the main elements of a web address. And the first part, the HTTPS, is what we call a protocol. This HTTP actually stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And so with that, that is telling the browser that this is how we're going to display the page to the user. It's a protocol used to display a web page to the user. The S on the end, and it can come either as both HTTP or HTTPS, the S on the end indicates that the web browser is encrypted. When we say it's encrypted, what we're saying is that all communication between the web page that you have opened currently and the web browser where the website is hosted at is encrypted. So all secure sites that take usernames, passwords, banking related information, or any other type of sensitive or confidential information should absolutely be HTTPS, meaning Hypertext Transfer Protocol with encrypted communication between the browser window itself and the web server. And so when it's encrypted, what that means is if someone is on your network and is able to intercept the traffic that you are presenting here, they will not be able to read that data. However, if we take the S off and it's a non-encrypted site, all that data is sent essentially in plain text, where packets can be captured and analyzed and read. The other part of the web address, if we see colon / that's just a divider to indicate that we've told them what the protocol is. Another protocol that's an example is FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. And so there are all kinds of different types of protocols out there. But the main ones you'll see are HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP. And if you ever get a web link or through your email looking for an FTP, that would be considered immediately suspicious. And if it's asking for sensitive or confidential information, it doesn't have an S indicating that's secure and encrypted, that would also be immediately considered suspicious. The next part is www, and www, sometimes this is included, sometimes this isn't, but it stands for the World Wide Web. Google.com is what we refer to as the domain name. The .com portion of the domain name is called a top-level domain. And so we have different types of top-level domains, or TLDs, and those are .com, .org, .biz, .gov. These are just some examples. So for example, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company's website would be FDIC.gov. Any nonprofit would use a .org. And then generally your websites and most of the websites we go to that are commercial would be .com websites. The domain name is something that you can purchase and host a website on, and this is where we'll focus a lot of our conversation on. For example, there's a service called GoDaddy.com. All the web hosting providers, there's Brinkster, Liquid Web, various hosting providers where you can purchase your own domain name. And so that is what this portion of the web address is called, is the domain name, and specifically at the end, the top level domain name. But our analysis will focus on primarily this portion of the domain name, the actual name portion. So it's important to be able to understand the domain names and the web address and the links and the different components, because then we can understand and decide when something is legitimate and when something isn't. In our next module, we'll be going over some examples of what would be considered a legitimate domain name versus a non-legitimate domain name.